We're gonna go quick because it's so cold.
You
gotta keep her warm.
So you filed a motion to recuse the judge this morning. Can you speak a little bit to why you decided that was a step you wanted to take?
Sure. Martha, why don't you go right ahead?
Look, this issue of fairness, not having a conflict, and in fact not even appearing to have a conflict, is just bedrock in our society. It happens all the time, by the way. State court, federal court, judges, lawyers know each other, family members, financial interests. There's a million reasons why some judge might decide he or she shouldn't sit on a case because they have an actual conflict or because it appears that way to the public. And we felt that in this case there were lots of reasons why, and we've raised this before, and even the SJC in their last decision said it is up to the judge, him or herself, to decide whether or not there's an appearance of conflict or there's an actual conflict. And so no one should be surprised by this motion, given this case. It's a complicated case. It's had lots of twists and turns. It is unusual, but that also raises some unusual conflicts and appearances in this case. And so we're hopeful that the judge will look at this motion and realize that. It's obviously her call to make that decision. She was not here today, but she'll see the motion and she'll make a decision based on what we filed today. This is for fairness, by the way, in every case, but in this case, this is fairness for Kelsey.
And so there's a hearing set for March 9th. Trial is March 23rd. How likely do you think it is that this case actually goes to trial on that date, given the hearing and then the judge deciding the motion, and then maybe you get an evidentiary hearing?
We're not moving this thing. We want this addressed. We want a jury to hear this case. Kelsey has a lot of work to do in terms of getting her baby back, and that's number one. That's the number one priority here, and we don't want this to interfere any more than it already has. It's been horrible for her, and we need a judge that doesn't have appearances of a lack of impartiality on this case. We want to have that done immediately, as soon as we can. We moved up the date a little bit as best as schedules would allow. So we're eager to get that handled. We're working behind the scenes without court involvement right now anyway on the discovery. We're trying to get the last few bits of discovery, and we're not obligated to provide any discovery to the Commonwealth until they've certified and it's actually true that they've given us all the discovery. So that's the way the system works. We're very confident in this motion that there's no way that this judge could sit on the case in terms of without demonstrating an appearance of a lack of impartiality. So we want to just get a different judge on the case and move forward as soon as we can.
So the Commonwealth said they were going to file a certificate of compliance either today or this week. You
Yes.
sounded maybe a little less certain that they had actually met their...
Yes, as I said, I was trying to be nice, a little too optimistic, I think, today. But we're working together. We'll try to get it done. And technically, they're not fully in compliance yet, but we're working on it. And I know these things take a little bit of time, but it's time to get it together, get it done.
And last time we were here, you talked about filing some Rule 17 motions. Is that still the plan?
So we're looking at that. We think some of that was covered by the discovery that's already been given, so we might reassess that. We might also just send some trial subpoenas for items as well. And I know the Commonwealth is probably going to do that as well for some things too. So there's different ways we can address it. Anyone else?
Yeah. What do you think the likelihood of Judge McCarthy-Nyman being recused is?
Well, the motion's very comprehensive, Josie. We think that it's a very strong motion, and it's gonna be handled by her on its merits, and we're very confident in it. I don't want to really speculate on the odds of it, but it looks good, and we're very confident with it. Put a lot of time into it, and there's a lot of issues in there that need to be addressed.
All right, just one more because I know it's cold and I want Kelsey to get warm. Is there any chance that there's going to be a ruling before the trial, or do you think they're going to drag it out?
Yeah, no, I think the 9th is a realistic date, and we're going to do everything we can behind the scenes to make sure that date is set up for a hearing. If they in fact want an evidentiary hearing, as opposed to just recusing, if the judge wants to just have a hearing, that we're going to work hard to make sure it's on the 9th.
And that motion would have to be decided before trial, one way or the other.
Delay is not a factor in whether a judge should recuse themselves. It takes priority, and it's a constitutional right to have an impartial judge, and it's nothing that's going to be moving for any sort of scheduling or logistical concerns.
And in watching you argue, it's not something that you always file in every case, you know, it's a
Right,
special
it's rare.
circumstance.
It's usually, Martha and I were just discussing this a little while ago. Usually a judge just will see things in the record that would cause someone to question their impartiality and just step off the case on their own. For whatever reason, that didn't happen here. And, you know, sometimes lawyers have to file motions pointing things out to the court, and that's fine, and we've done so, but we fully expect that, that this will be taken care of, and that we'll have a fair, impartial judge on the case.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.